Hi all, myself Anjita Aravind. Today we are discussing the digestion in gastrointestinal tract, and in this section we are mainly focusing on the digestion of the carbohydrate, fat and proteins. In this picture we can see the different kind of foods which we are taking in our daily life, and from these food we are getting different kind of nutritions, and these nutritions contain mainly 6 components, and the components are carbohydrate, proteins, fat, vitamins, minerals and water. And in this portion we are discussing how these components are digested in our gastrointestinal tract. For the easiness of learning this topic, we have to know these 4 terms. That is, first one is digestion. Digestion is the process of breaking down the food into individual molecules small enough to be absorbed through the intestinal wall. And second one is the absorption. It is the process of moving nutrients from the gastrointestinal tract into the bloodstream. And the third one, transport. It is the process of moving the absorbed nutrients throughout the body through the circulatory and lymphatic system. And fourth one is the elimination process. It is the excretion of the undigested and unabsorbed food through the fecus. So here we are starting the digestion process from start to the end. That is, the teeth and the tongue, with the help of the saliva, it will masticate and mix up the food into a bolus form, and this bolus is conveyed to the pharynx and then to the esophagus by swallowing, or the process known as the deglutition process. So after swallowing the food, when the cardiac sphincter is relaxed, the food will reach the stomach, and the stomach store the food for 4 to 5 hours, and the food mixes thoroughly with the acidic gastric juices to form a paste, and it is known as the chyme. This all are we are discussed on the last sections. Now we start with the digestion of the major components present in our food. We already discussed that the major components which are present in our food are carbohydrate, proteins, fat, minerals, water and other substances. So first we start with the digestion of carbohydrate. The digestion of carbohydrate will start from our mouth itself. So shall we discuss about the digestion of carbohydrate in the mouth and then the stomach. So when the food is chewed and it is mixed with the saliva, and the saliva contain the enzymes alpha amylase. It is secreted mainly by the parotid glands, and this enzyme will convert the starch molecule into maltose and small polymers of the glucose, and these contains 3 to 9 glucose molecules, and only about 5% of the starch is digested because food remains in the mouth only for a short time, and then we will swallow the food and it reaches the stomach, and then the digestion of the carbohydrate will happen remaining in the stomach. At the stomach, the activity of salivary amylase is blocked by the acid of the gastric secretion, because the salivary amylase is not active at a pH less than 4. That is, in acidic pH the salivary amylase is non-active, and only 40 to 30% of the starch will have been hydrolyzed mainly to form maltoses at the stomach. So the undigested carbohydrate, next it will reaches into the small intestine, and the pancreatic secretions contain a large quantity of alpha amylase, and it is known as the pancreatic amylase, and within 15 to 13 minutes after the chyme empties from the stomach into the duodenum and mixes with the pancreatic juices, and all the carbohydrate will have become digested in the small intestine itself, and the carbohydrates are almost totally converted into maltose or other very small glucose polymers, and before passing beyond the duodenum or upper jejunum. And the enterocytes lining the villi of the small intestine contain 4 enzymes, namely lactase, sucrase, maltase and alpha dextrinase, and which will split the disaccharide lactose, sucrose and maltose into their constituent monosaccharides, and this also happens in the small intestines. And these enzymes are located in the enterocytes covering the intestinal microvilli brush border. So the rest of the digestion will happen in the small intestine regions. You already said that the enterocyte lining of the small intestine contains the maltase, sucrase and lactase enzymes. So this maltase, which will convert the maltose to two molecules of glucose, and the sucrase, which will convert the sucrose to glucose and fructose, and the lactose, which will convert the lactose molecules into glucose and galactose. And in this picture we can see the schematic representation of the conversion of carbohydrate or digestion of the carbohydrate into simple molecules. In this picture we can see the carbohydrate digestion in various parts of the GIT. In the buccal cavity we already discussed that the starch is converted into maltose by the salivary amylase, and in the stomach no carbohydrate digestion occurs due to the acidic pH in the stomach. And in intestine, that is in small intestine, the starch is converted into maltose by the pancreatic amylase secreted from the pancreatic juice, and the maltose, lactose and sucrose, which is converted into maltose is converted into two glucose units by the enzyme maltase, and lactose is converted into glucose and galactose by lactase, and the sucrase is sucrose, which is converted into glucose and fructose by the enzymes sucrase. These three enzymes, which is secreted from the endokinase, which is present in the villi of the small intestine. So in this picture we can briefly discuss the carbohydrate digestion which is occurs in the GIT. So next we have to discuss about the digestion of proteins, and digestion of proteins started from our stomach, and the stomach contain a major peptic enzyme. It is known as the pepsins, and it is active in the pH of 2 to 3, that is in an acidic pH the pepsin is active, and it can digest the collagen fibers, and only 10 to 20% of the total protein digestion is occurs in the stomach region, and the protein is converted into proteases, peptones and a few polypeptides, and the undigested protein which is present in the stomach then move from the stomach to the small intestine regions, and next of the digestion happens in the small intestine. So digestion of proteins by the pancreatic secretions, and most of the protein digestion occurs in the upper small intestine, that is in the portion of duodenum and jejunum regions. Trypsin and chymotrypsins, which will split the protein molecules into small polypeptides, and the carboxypeptidases, it is an enzyme which will act on the carboxyl end of the polypeptides, and it will cleave it into individual amino acids. And next enzyme is the proelastase. In turn it will convert into elastase, which then digests the elastin fibers that partially hold means together. So this is the digestion which digestion of the proteins which occurs in the stomach and small intestine regions. From this we can simply discuss the protein digestion in the whole GI tract. In the buccal cavity there is no protein digestion happens, and the protein digestion will start from the stomach region. In the stomach the pepsinogen is converted into pepsin in the acidic medium by using the hydrochloric acid. The pepsinogen is converted into pepsins, and by using these pepsins the protein is converted into peptones and proteases. Peptones means it is the larger peptides, and proteases means it is the smaller peptides. And after stomach region the undigested protein molecule will move into the small intestine, and further digestion of the proteins will occurs in the small intestine, and the small intestine which contain an enzyme enterokinase which will convert the trypsinogen into trypsin, and by using this trypsin it will convert the chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin and procarboxypeptidase to carboxypeptidases, and by using these three, that is trypsin, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidases, it will convert the remaining undigested proteins which is reached from the stomach region, that is proteins, peptones and proteases. It is reached from the stomach region. It is converted into dipeptides by using this trypsin, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidases, and the dipeptides which is produced is then again converted into smaller amino acid units by using the dipeptidase enzymes which is present in the small intestine. So the whole protein digestion occurs in the small intestine region, and now the protein is converted into smaller amino acids unit. Next is the digestion of fat occurs in the GIT. A small amount of the triglyceride is digested in the stomach by the lingual lipase, that is secreted by the lingual glands in the mouth and swallowed with the saliva. When we are swallowing the bolus, some amount of saliva is reaching in our stomach, and with this saliva the lingual lipase will reach the stomach region and it will help into the conversion of triglycerides. And the first step in the fat digestion is physically to break the fat globules into very small size so that the water soluble digestive enzymes can act on the globule surface, and this process is known as the emulsification of the fat. And most of the emulsification occurs in the duodenum under the influence of the bile secreted from the gallbladder. And the most important enzyme for the digestion of triglyceride is pancreatic lipase, present in enormous quantities in the pancreatic juice. So fat digestion is started from our stomach region with the help of the lingual lipase, and then it move into the small intestine region, and with the help of the bile, it is the fat molecules are converted into smaller ones by the emulsification process for the easiness of the digestion of fat. So fat digestion in the whole GIT. In the buccal cavity there is no fat digestion is occurs, and in the stomach region the gastric lipase hydrolyzes only a small amount of the fat, and the remaining undigested fat is reached in the small intestine, and with the help of the bile the fat is converted into fat droplets, and it is known as the emulsification process. And then the pancreatic lipase, which is secreted from the pancreatic juice, is convert the fat into diglycerides and then into monoglycerides, and the monoglycerides will convert into fatty acids and glycerol. This is the digestion process which occurs in the small intestine. And next one is the nucleic acid digestion. The nucleic acid digestion only occurs in the small intestine, and the nucleic acid, when it reaches the small intestine, it is converted into nucleotides and then into nucleosides, and the nucleosides will form into smaller molecules of sugar and bases. This is the digestion of nucleic acid happening in the small intestine region. In this we can see the different region of the gastrointestinal tract and the secretions, its pH and composition. First one is a salivary glands. It will secrete the saliva. Its pH is 6.5 and it contains amylase and bicarbonate. And second, stomach will secrete the gastric juices. Its pH is 1.5 and the composition includes pepsinogen, hydrochloric acid and renin. And liver and gallbladder, it will secrete the bile. Its pH is 7 to 8 and its composition bile salts and pigments and cholesterol. And pancreas will secrete the pancreatic juice. pH is 7 to 8 and the compositions include trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidases, lipase, amylase, nucleases and bicarbonate. And next one is the small intestine. Small intestine contains the membrane enzymes and its pH is 7 to 8 and the compositions are aminopeptidase, maltase, lactase, sucrase and alkaline phosphates. Here we can see the end product of the digestions. We already said the major components which is present in our food are carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals, water and vitamins, and these are converted into smaller molecules for the easiness of its absorption, and carbohydrate is converted into the smaller ones such as glucose, fructose and galactose units, and the protein is converted into amino acids, fat is converted into fatty acids and glycerol. And now these forms are ready for the absorption process, and complete digestion of the food takes place in the duodenum region, and the fully digested food is semi-fluid in nature and it is known as chyle. Now this digested food is ready for its absorption purpose, and next we have to study the absorption of these carbohydrate, proteins and fat which is occurs in our GIT. Thank you all for hearing me.